One. How is the Mercedes start? What is this, like 6th? That's behind both Ferraris and both Red Bulls. How's the game gonna do this to me? What the fuck? I don't know. They won't go for a move here, I don't think. Just kind of park it in the middle just to make sure. Oh dear, just pushing through it. Jesus Christ.
That's a good start. Keep it up.
I just see how long these tires will go. Just trying out a new setup. Because my old one was pretty outdated, and I've got Monza a week after this one in ERO. So I just thought, you know, do a couple of races. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's see what happened there. There's the off-board and on-board was literally the same stride. Missed that. Aha, interesting. Yeah. That's something I gotta work on, is this corner. I think this corner is where I lose the most time on the whole track. Purely just because it's hard to do consistently. Also, this new setup, it's not quite got the same level of turning as the other one did. So I'm just struggling through some of these corners to get the car in the right place. A bit rusty as well. I haven't played the game in a few days. That was not ideal.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
Verstappen blows past the Ferraris there. I don't really understand why the Ferraris are still this good in this game. They really shouldn't be. They're like, what, they came 6th in the Constructors last year? Was it? Yeah. So, I mean... Was it 7th? Did they... I'm pretty sure they beat AlphaTauri. Yeah, I think they came 6th. So I mean, what they're still doing is the third best team, I guess. I mean, really they're both better than Albon in this game, but
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy.
broke a little bit too late. That there is not the line. Sounds like the car's bottoming out down this main straight. Maybe I need to raise the ride height a little bit. I'm not sure how much of a difference actually bottoming out makes to your straight line speed like that. I'm pretty sure it's not that much of a difference. I know in the wet you need to raise your ride height a little bit, but I think that's for a slightly different reason. Yeah, just see mid-corner, it just starts to slide away from the apex a bit. Something I need to get a grip of. Shit, that's cool. Whoa! I'm not using a ton of fuel around here, I mean, not exactly been trying to use it, but
Great work. That's a new fastest
I'd have
lap of the
expected it
race.
to go down a bit more naturally around a track that's, well, I mean, you spend most of it at full throttle and the rest of it on the brakes. There's not really a time where you're just coasting. I guess the Lesmos, but even then. Yeah, just really, oh, nice bit. Just through the first Lesmo there, just really not sure where to get on the power. Because the car, it initially like turns in fine, but then it will start to almost like pull away from the apex a bit. Maybe I should take that in fifth. But yeah, it starts to like pull away from the apex, like mid-corner. So it's almost like it turns in, comes back out a bit, and then tries to go back into the corner. And it's not that fun, really, to try and deal with. So I just seen a comment. Hold on, I grab my phone. Hello, Libenau. Monza, Monza, Monza. Yeah, Monza. Great track. Ah. Just completely messed that up. Indeed a great one, yeah. Probably be a bit risky to reach out through a corner like that, but it's not the biggest corner in the world. Yeah. Just not a fan of that corner in general, really. Probably my least favourite corner. It's got to be between that and the first bit of the Ascari for my least favourite corner on this track. I was going to try that in fifth one, I forgot. pull in some nice time on the wingman himself. Should probably do something about that. Hello Carsten, Monza. Is that going to be everyone's first comment in this stream? There we go, that's the line. Monza, Monza, Monza. Nice. I really struggle to see how people brake so late there. Yeah, just too much on stiff, maybe a little bit too early on the power. Yeah, Monza. Right, let's try this. Not too bad, but a little bit more understeer than I'd like. Ugh. Just a bit annoying. Maybe I'll try this with lower tyre pressures or something, see if I can get a better run through Ascari.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking
tyre temps aren't too bad here. Horrible. You know, they're pretty consistently like just above 90 for your lefts and just below 90 for your rights, which is about right. Optimal tyre being 90 degrees. Ah, that's way. Ooh, no, it's not.
We've been awarded a time penalty. It will go against our finishing
Oh,
time at
this
the end of the
game is
race.
a bit too good. Let's have a look at that. Hold on. So no. There we go. Jeez, yeah, definitely gained time there. Sorry, lads. Oh dear, so much time gained there. Definitely deserve that penalty so much. Oh, this game's ridiculous, isn't it? Let's flashback that one. So the initial bite into the first Lesmo there was really nice, but then well, that was awful all round. But coming out, it just wasn't too great on the traction. Yeah, I should definitely double downshift there and short shift on apex. Oh, that's way better. Oh, that's not. Great. Trying to switch off ABS and traction, that's so hard. I mean, yeah, I think traction's probably one of the harder ones to get off because you're so used to just being able to hit the throttle. But once you get used to your throttle management, it'll be so nice because you can, obviously with traction control on, it cuts out the engine when you get on the power to make sure that you don't spin the rears, but having that extra drive coming out of a corner is so nice. And you'll just, as soon as you get used to having traction off, you'll just be so much faster. ABS is a bit different because ABS allows you to do kind of weird stuff on the braking that you shouldn't be able to get away with. But it I'd say it's probably a bit easier to get used to than traction. Taking that in 6th work. Okay, not sure if it was fast, but it was a lot nicer. You get so many track limits. That's not very nice, Carsten. Oh, wrong gear. Yeah, Austria's got a lot of faster corners, so ABS really helps there because you can turn and brake at the same time, like quite a lot, and I imagine that's quite useful at tracks like Austria. It also another track where it's stupidly OP is Zandvoort. I honestly think that ABS might be the most OP assist in the game. I think it's the only one that overall like helps like a ton for like lap time. I know that line helps with your consistency a lot, but I mean someone who knows how to drive no line and someone who knows how to drive line probably won't have that much difference in their actual pace.
Been awarded a time penalty for that last
Well,
incident.
in their actual pace, just the difference will be found in consistency.
We want to pit this lap, so
I
push
don't.
now.
You brake too hard in the fast corners. How do you lock up with ABS? Oh no, wait, because you're turning it off. Okay. Yeah, it's basically what's happening is you're like steering a little bit when you're braking. With ABS off, you've got to brake in a straight line a lot more. Because I don't think you're braking too hard, really. Obviously, you can sometimes just brake too hard, but as you can see here, I'm not exactly gentle on the brake. Short shifting there is not the one. Oh, there. Also, Italy's quite hard with the track limits, especially at the Scari. You have to be so precise, and it's just quite difficult when you're on controller to nail that every time. Yeah, so maybe just try and straighten your steering a bit. What is Bottas doing the double stack for? Oh dear. But I play with pads a little bit braking harder than you think.
Pit strategy complete.
It's just something to get used to. The more you drive with ABS off, the more used to it you'll get. Oh, see ya. That was a little bit better. I know I've got fresh tyres on, but there I was able to I downshifted a little bit later the second time, and it worked quite nicely for stability through that corner. Understeered a bit low. Nice last sector there. There's Verstappen pits. Stroll in third. Oh, he hasn't pitted. Oh, that was a bit too late. That was nice. Oh yeah, that's way better. Downshift on Apex and you.
The car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre.
Try not to hit those yellow sleeping policemen. Hate them so much. It's just, yeah, Bottas lost so much out of that double stack. He's behind Verstappen. What a mug. Why'd he do that?
The gap to the car behind is 14.1 seconds.
Ah, too much curb. Start getting a bit more aggressive. See if we can do a decent lap time. Without doing that. I'm determined to do well in Italy in ERO this season after what happened to me last season. I was going to win that race and then the puncture on Parabolica on the penultimate lap. Ah. Start draining some ERS. 21.9. It's alright. Again, a little bit too much curb. Probably should try turning in a little bit later for the second part of the chicane there. Oh. Yeah, that ain't it. Just a little bit too early on the power out of there. Hate that corner. Getting pinged on Discord. What's going on? A man I know is at champ. What's Routinho on about? Commentate F4 or UK. I can also bully champ. And bread. How about no? What's going on? Why is he always asking so last minute for anything to do with commentators or anything? It's like for the JVL event stuff. He was like asking people to race like 10 minutes before the race started. What's going on? I'm not commentating F4, go away. Well, it's like half an hour. I probably could have dinner before then. So, sounds like a shame. Unknown's going to commentate. Go away, Routinho. What was I? Here. it wasn't awful. Could be better. I think I was a little bit late on the brakes. Maybe didn't lift off the brake enough when I started trail braking because I didn't like it very much. Didn't quite get to the point where I was locking up, but I felt it going, which is not a nice feeling. Very useful use of rich mix there. There we go, that's a bit better. Traction wasn't too much steering lock to start the traction down. I had a bit of a wobble. Speaking of a bit of a wobble, I actually feel so bad for killing Loki at turn 1 in Japan in the JBL event. I know that was like days ago now, but I still feel so bad about it. I literally just got like the slightest bit of like oversteer into the first corner, probably because of the dirty air I was getting after crossing over the back of Terra Racer. Terra Racer hit the grass, so I like I didn't want to hit it or anything, so I like turned in a bit, and the car started sliding, and by the time I got it straightened back up, there was just not enough room left for Loki, and yeah, I just kind of killed him. I really like this black Merc, but I kind of wish that Merc had gone back to silver for this year, or at least, you know how like the what was it, the W12 2021 car, they have it black and it fades to silver for the fin. I wish it was like silver and then like maybe somewhere in the side pod it started fading to black, and then they could have like the rear end of the car be black. And I get like the AMG stuff doesn't look as bad on track than it did in the photos they did, because it's actually like, obviously when the car's moving and stuff, and it's a bit harder to tell that it says AMG, but it's not so much in your face. It's still a bit, when you look at a still image of the car, it's still a bit of a joke, but yeah, shut up, Joe. Actually, I'm gonna.
Copy that.
But yeah, I really wish they'd switched the colour scheme. Just even if they just reversed it, maybe left the rear wing black. Maybe changed their usage of the red, because I still don't like the red on the front. I don't mind it on the air intake as much as I used to, because I think this year they made it look a little bit better, but it still looks so out of place on the front and rear wing to have that red there. It just kind of looks like they just stuck some red on for no reason, especially with also on the front wing you also have like that blocky turquoise. That's where they put the Petronas sponsoring on the front wing. It just kind of, I don't know, having that blocky turquoise, and then also having like just a block of red on it too, just looks so odd. I keep forgetting that I'm only downshifting 3 times there. It's not wide enough on entry, but yeah, it's just so odd. How has Ricardo found his way up into 4th? Has he not stopped? Did he start on mediums? Oh, Alex Albon's out of the session. It's not my fault.
Oh, Verstappen's going to try and move up the inside. Oh, and it's stuck. And he's open to first place. Oh, Hamilton not looking too good now. The 6 seconds front turn 2, whatever we do. Oh my god, that one has got up the inside. Oh my god, they smashed the roof of the box and none of them can drive.
anyone was wondering, that is my retard of a little brother. Sorry, that's a mean word, I shouldn't say that. He's just not very smart. How close are we to lapping? Not that far. Oh, that wasn't the route I meant to take there. Yes. Maybe I could do with a click less pressure in the fronts. Because kind of feeling like into those first corners, fast corners, sorry, not first corners, I'm just losing a little bit of front end compared to what I'd like. I don't think it's that necessary either. I think even if because I've got 2 clicks on by recommendation of Bread, but I think if I was to only have 1 click, that'd be enough. I mean, even with tyre wear around Monza, I think 1 click should be enough in the event of a lap 1 safety car. Stop downshifting that last time. Yeah, if there's like a lap 1 safety car, I think 1 click should be enough to safely get the tyres to the end. I know that no pressures is a bit dodgy because tyres get a bit cold around here at the end of these straights, especially into Parabolica there. So kind of the idea behind putting the pressures up is to make sure the tyres are a bit warmer. Of course the mediums need to be a little bit warmer than these softs do to work at their best. But I think the softs it's about 90 degrees. I think the mediums, I'm not sure, but I think it's just slightly higher than that. Which I think is why a lot of the time it's 2 clicks that you want here. But yeah, I think the reason you want 2 clicks is for the heat in the mediums, because the mediums obviously suffer a bit more than the softs do here in terms of tyre temps. The hards even more so, which again, why the tyre pressures are slightly higher. I don't know, I might do a race after this where I just pit on lap 1 for the hards to see what happens. Oh, I guess there'll be, I don't know. Medium's going to about 40% already. Had them on for about 10, 11 laps now. So it's not too bad actually, now I think about it, but well, I want to go a total of 15, 16, so I'll probably be just over about 60, bordering 70% by the time we get to the end of the stint. Minus any huge mistakes, like a spin or something. Oh hey! Hi Yagi-san! I don't know if I don't think that shows up on stream actually, but that's the first time I've ever received that. Hold on, let's see if I can find it on the thing. He says he commented on one of my activities. Does that mean? No, it doesn't appear in the. Hold on. What? What is this? I'm really interested. I have no clue what this is. Commented on one of my activities. Oh, he's like gone in on the PS4 and how are you? Hi champ, how are you? Oh, I'm good, thank you, Yaki-san. How are you? Um, yeah, I don't know why it's telling my PlayStation they're not appearing in the normal chat, but that's interesting. I didn't know about that. But whoa. I forgot what I was talking about now. What was I talking about? Tire pressures, I think. And tire. Someone liked one of your activities, so that's Yaki-san again. Fuck off, Raikkonen, and you let me through here. See ya. Clean overtakes only. Don't know what you mean. Surprised I didn't get a warning for that. Usually slipping onto that curb results in a warning, so... Oh. Kinda lucky not to get another penalty there, I think. I think we're on another penalty. I think we've got 2 warnings since our last penalty. So... yeah, that wasn't ideal. Spam gears instead and just... I don't know. Something interesting going on ahead. Let's have a look at what these guys are up to. Oh, it's Russell and Giovinazzi. Can Russell get the traction he does? Russell steaming ahead in his Williams car. Looking pretty nice compared to the Alfa Romeo. Could say that's not a track limits warning, but please get out of the way. Please. Just please. Please. Fuck it. Yeah, there we go. Didn't disrupt their fight too much, they're right back in the same position. Come on, surely I was within a second. No? That's pretty sad. Let's just help ourselves here with a bit of ERS. Ignore the penalties in the top left, it definitely says 0 seconds. There we go, there's the 30-second gap to Valtteri wingman. I don't. How is Bottas still on this? I'm sorry, but come on. I know they're all about stability and all that, but surely if you're Mercedes, you want someone who can, you know, lead. Because obviously Hamilton's coming towards the end of his career. He's not going to keep going on forever. He's got 7 world championships. You know, I'm sure he'd like to go another 10 years and become a 17 world champion or something, but he just can't. It's not going to happen. So I really think at this point Mercedes needs to start introducing someone to the team, like a George Russell, so that when Hamilton retires, he already knows what he's doing. He already knows what he's doing without having to do the whole, oh, Bottas is the #1 driver here. George Russell's getting just kind of ignored. See, that says a warning being too good with track limits. It's because I respect them so much that the game's gonna be like, yo, you know, you should probably abuse them a bit more. Seeing what I end this stint with. 58 rear left, so that'll be over 60 next lap. So yeah, so with these tyre pressures at the front, obviously that doesn't affect the rears like at all. But the rears take the biggest beating at this track, I would say, like in terms of overall wear, because you're spending so much time in traction zones. Like that. But once you get to the point where it's the end of a straight, you've got to turn into a corner, your fronts are so cold. Your rears, I mean, looking at that, you know, your rears, rear left 90 degrees, rear right 86 degrees. So it's not like they need the pressure. Maybe rear right good one clip, but you really want to keep them even on the left and right hand sides for stability purposes. So I don't really think that you need any pressures at the rear. Maybe for tyre wear, but I mean, if you get to that point in a race where you need to put the pressures up for tyre wear, you're probably doing a one stop, and there was probably a lap one safety car. And obviously the chances of that are quite high with turn one and everything here, but
So another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows.
but yeah, I mean,
Tell me, Ant,
how often is that going to happen realistically?
I think that smart tyre management
But
on track and
I
very
guess
smooth driving definitely assisted
I
in
guess
their
maybe
victory
you could
today.
put
That
one click of
combination meant they
pressure
got
in.
the absolute
The
maximum
only
out of
reason
their
you
tyres
put
at
any
all
pressure into the
times.
front is because they get so cold, so by the time you get to the end of the straight,
After
you're
an
turning into a
excellent
corner,
performance at the
you
Grand
don't have the
Prix,
grip,
I'm sure there'll be plenty of
so
celebrations tonight
pressure's
amongst the Mercedes team,
quite good in the
and they
front.
certainly deserve. After an
Not really
incredible
needed
day
for
of
wear,
racing,
because
who
the
was your
rears
driver
take
of
more
the
of a
day, Ant?
beating.
I'll probably go for
But,
Pierre Gasly.
you know,
The team
just
did a good
for
job
the
with the
general
strategy to
grip,
put him in
it's
amongst
good.
the pack, but it's the driver's job to capitalise on those opportunities.
Maybe you could put
and
some
he
in
did
the rears,
so with
but I
a
don't
lot
know.
of skill.
Well,
It's not
Ant,
something
an
I
end to
really
another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to
know.
everyone who joined us, and we'll
But
see you
I'm
for
going
the
to
next
quickly
one.
go. I'll be back in like 10 minutes, and we'll probably do another race, so don't go anywhere. go. I'm back. Let's go again. Starting 6th. Let's oh, it saved it, how nice. That's what I was running before. Maybe lower it to that. For a better turning. You hit me from behind. Oh yeah, that's really nice. I have to see what the temps are like. It's actually liked where they were before with the two clicks, but if the extra bit of front end is worth it, you might have to sacrifice a little bit of temps. It just depends, obviously, because both of them will negatively affect my initial turning. You know, cold tyres creates understeer. Overinflated tyres also creates understeer. But if I can get a good idea of which one I prefer to drive with, which understeer is more bearable, will help a lot. Choosing lean through there because I don't want to. Well, I did anyway, but I don't want to just clot Bottas. Whoa! That was fun. AI tend to run on full power for the first couple of laps anyway, so from now on they should be a little bit more in line with my straight line speed. Well, as much as they can be at least. I mean, the reason you want to run such a high rear wing is because of how important the traction is. So obviously, for overall downforce and straight line speed and stuff, you've got to sacrifice the front end, which is why it's so understeering. But the front end, having it down at 1 and then running a higher rear wing to have better traction, I think is overall faster than the old, what was it? I think it was like 2 full that people normally run. And obviously if you're running 2 full, don't quite have as good traction. I think you overall have less aero on the car. So you're probably a bit better in a straight line. A bit harder to overtake, a bit easier to overtake others. But you tend to lose overall lap time. 22.2. See if we can beat my fastest lap from last time. Yeah, that's better. Just try and get the steering as straight as you can when you get on the traction out there. Because the traction out of turn 2 there, it's really tricky. So obviously a bit of a short shift helps that. And also a nice gentle application of the throttle with steering. Obviously the more steering lock you have on when you're trying to get traction down, the harder it will be. Traction will always be most effective when you're travelling perfectly straight, which is why traction's so much better on the pad than it is the wheel, because on the wheel I'd probably basically, I don't know, I guess it's not technically impossible, but you're not going to do it, and you're just definitely not going to consistently do it. You're not going to be able to consistently get that wheel perfectly straight, which is you can do on pad by just letting go of the stick. So that's why pad traction is better in general. Oh yeah, look how nice. That was nice. Should probably do some Austria practice after this. Ah, that's my first cut. Yeah, if you miss that first apex there, it's so hard to carry any kind of speed through the second one. Again, especially on pad, where the change of the direction is a bit bad. Truthfully, because of course you get that tiny little bit where the wheel stays straight, which obviously you don't get on wheel because you can just change direction. But when the wheel, when you change direction on pad, when it comes past that center point, it like freezes for a second. It just stays straight for a little bit of a second, so we don't quite get the change of direction that pad players, wheel players do. Which is like everyone, like you get wheel players complain about, oh, pad traction OP. You get pad players complain, oh, but wheel can better tyres, better turning, better accuracy and stuff. I think overall, the wheel across the season's probably slightly faster in general pace. I don't think the difference is that much. Not to the point where it's impossible to be as fast on a pad. You know, I think it's definitely harder to be very good at pad than it is to be very good at wheel. But I think it's easier to be decent on pad than it is to be decent on wheel. So I think it's fairly balanced, but I think across a season, across a league race at least. Whoa. Oh dear, that's that wasn't right. I hate that curb so much because you come onto it, this one here, come onto it and that sausage, like the seen policeman, it like just lifts your left, so that when your left front lands, you just don't have any grip because it's like sliding. And then that happens. See, I'd have been out right there in a race. Probably should have hit the brakes probably about here. I think I did hit the brakes about there by the looks of I shouldn't have tried to get on the power there. That's what I shouldn't have done. Let's try that again. Ah, I touched the grass on entry. That ain't... not the end of the world, but it ain't healthy. You just get understeer through here. Whoa, and that happens. Let's see what the tyres get to be like when we pit again. I don't think there should be much more wear. There probably will be a little bit more wear. What are the temps like? 94 and 88. So, you know, it's not exactly miles apart. So coming into here, I'm not exactly struggling for grip at all. But I think if I was having no pressures, the front left might just be a little bit lower than I need sometimes in stereo, especially, and then when you start having worn tyres as well, when you have worn cold tyres, that is the worst. Second time I cut that. Yeah, worn. I think because when your tyres are fresh like this, well, fresh, it's 7 laps solid, coming towards the end of that line. But you know, the cold tyres isn't such a huge factor. Yeah, you might get a little bit of understeer here and there, but overall it's not too bad. Once your tyres start getting warm, it's just a million times worse. And so that's why at tracks where the tyres tend to get a bit colder, like Monza, you just want to run a little bit of pressure. To help you out towards the end of the season. I think it also helps against puncturing a bit. Because obviously less sliding and stuff at higher wears, putting less stress on the tyre, there's less chance that you're going to cause a puncture. I know punctures are mostly random, but you can manage them a bit by driving conservatively. You know, if you're driving well within the limit, even if your tyres are like 90%, it shouldn't puncture. Which I know, like with a track like Monza, isn't exactly always possible. You have Parabolica, which puts a lot of stress on the tyre anyway. But I think Monza and maybe Baku are the only tracks where you really want to run any tyre pressures. Apart from that, it's not really anything huge. So I mean, you get tracks with high tyre wear where, yeah, maybe running some pressure would maybe help your tyre a bit. But the tyre temps at a lot of those tracks, I'm thinking Hungary is a good example. Tyre temps at those tracks are so high because you have so many, like, well, it's because you have so many, you know, corners where you're turning a lot. So to raise the pressure would probably overall do worse because you'd heat the fronts up that are already overheated even more, and you'd end up with more sliding and all that, which would increase tyre wear overall, which at tracks where tyre wear is already quite high is really something you want to avoid. Fuck. I always think when you go over that, it's because the floor rubs up against that AstroTurf. But I always think when you go up to there, it sounds like one of the, what's it called? Like the weird shooting noises from like a Star Wars or something. It's so odd. Nice. That was pretty good. Small correction to the middle of there. Car just getting away from me a bit. Yeah, the good thing with Monza as well is you wouldn't think it because there's so many straights, but it's actually not that difficult to save DRS because all of the straights end with heavy braking zones. So you recover as much ERS as you use in those braking zones, which is quite nice. Especially since Monza's generally quite a strategic track, especially with all the DRS trains and everything that go on. And how easy it is to get warnings at corners like Ascari. And the second chicane, as I've been finding out in this race, is apparently even worse for that. Also, a lot of the tracks recently, I've been stopping running right, left, and going for a right, left style setup. I say style because it's not always exactly right, left. Especially at Hungary. Hungary's a bit of an odd. In general, it's quite an odd setup. Just because of the nature of that track being quite twisty. I mean, it's called Monaco without the barriers for a reason, right? Well, to be fair, I say that. The only person I've ever heard called it that was Araba. And maybe Tiamat, but obviously there are people that called it that.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
But let's hope Bottas doesn't double stack again. Also, that's another thing. Why is double stacking just not like a thing? Why can't you do it in this game? I really don't understand, because how many times have we seen it get pulled off in real life and it's just been fine, but all of a sudden you want to double stack in your game and it costs you 15 seconds. Yeah, Bottas stays out this time, so we do a 22.2 on the so see if we get a 21.7 would be alright. Maybe if I do a push lap I can get 25 or something. I don't do that though. Probably should try not upshifting there. It's so late, I don't think I gain anything by upshifting there. Hold on, let me grab my phone again. Ah, my chat's glitched, no. Huh. There's not actually any new comments there. Odd. Whoa. Don't hit that. That's some pretty good life advice. Fuck. That was not how you take a scar. There they are in the pits. Go for a good lap here. was nothing too good about that. I guess it might have looked cool, but I doubt it. The green. Obviously better than I thought it was. Messed that one up though, that definitely wasn't good. Why did I do that? I just kind of straightened the steering for no reason. Ah, no, wrong gear. Who about that? Snap of oversteer and exit. Went straight to steering to correct it, and I think I probably took a bit too much there. Started sliding, yeah. See, that was fine. That was pretty good. That, not so much. Oh, they have a 300, okay. I saw that on my way back, I was like, what's that? It's a 300-meter marker board. Oh, I'm not going to get this lap, am I? I really lost that much in the start. Jesus. I was much better through Ascari, but the middle sector wasn't particularly great. See what we can manage to do through. Still not as good as last time.
Okay, some information on Perez. They seem to have an issue.
That is a shame for Perez. 16, so we've got what, 11 laps left? 12 if you include this one. So just gonna try and check every now and then on my tyre wear and temps. That was weird, it like stuck to the curb. Like, you see, I moved my steering a little bit left. I had a little bit of oversteer, but I don't know if it was actually oversteer, it was just general sliding, I think, but yeah, I went to correct it, whatever it was, and it just carried me going straight. Just in that curve. Bit odd. There's so many times something happens in this game, you just think, it's just a little bit odd, really. It doesn't really make sense. Like how sometimes you'll just spin without any kind of warning or indication that anything was wrong. But you just, like that, you just didn't feel anything until it started going. There's not much, I guess there's a lack of connection between the car and the track, really. Like, you can feel how much grip you have, but it's not because of the tyres. You can feel like the tyres or anything. It's because you can feel what the car's is doing. It just kind of feels like Codemasters tried to simulate all of the feeling through the car's behaviour rather than how everything interacts with the road. Which is kind of the important bit, because you want to know, I don't know, just the general feeling of grip and everything just isn't that consistent or detailed at all in this game. I can't imagine what it... Sorry. I can't imagine what it's like on wheel, where they don't really get the vibrations you get in the controller. It's kind of all more like you can feel the wheel go light, or your steering becomes I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because the force feedback to the steering wheel starts to feel odd or something. That's generally how they tell what's going on. Whereas in the controller, they just go, oh, something's going wrong. It just starts vibrating. It's quite easy to tell, especially through your hands. Makes me wonder what the dual sense controller is going to be like. Well, I heard it's not very well optimised for this game, which you can probably expect. Why did he move right? He just moved right. But yeah, with the adapted triggers and all that, you can probably imagine, because that will give you a much better feeling, because it will come straight through the trigger you're pulling to accelerate, so you can feel exactly how much grip you have. I think it'll be quite cool. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens in F1 2021. I'm sure, obviously, Codemasters are trying to improve their game every year. White line? They're trying to improve their game every year. So the physics will be a bit... Oh, sorry, Alvin, that's quite sad. You did that in the last race too. Actually, you did that in the last race exactly here. F1 is scripted. F1 is FIFA. EA have always owned Codemasters, question mark? see if we can get past Jubilancy by draining our battery a bit. Probably could have been a bit more committed on the brakes there. Oh well. Latifi flying high. I'm coming through Galway. You're lucky I gave you any space, to be honest. It was probably enough alongside to deserve it, but it was a very half-assed attempt into a corner where, if I'm being honest, you probably don't want to find yourself on the inside. I guess it's chicane, so if you're on the outside, you're going to end up on the inside for the next bit. That could be equally as bad. You just don't really want to be side by side there. But of course, it's the AI, so it's not really going to act like that. Another warning. What we'd love to see. Yeah, sorry Norris. That was pretty bad. Just kind of braked a little bit too late. Yeah, you see, he brakes on the shadow there. I braked about there. Yeah. So I mean, not that much later, but I carried a lot more speed in the braking zone, and this was, at this point, you just look like a bit of an idiot, don't you? Because oh dear. Probably should have just, you know, hit the gears a bit harder or something. That's how you should do it. Late move, but what's this sliding there? What was that about? I'm there. That curb there is so unpredictable. If you don't commit to it enough, it'll screw you over. If you over-commit to it, it'll screw you over. It's like, I guess it's not the smallest margin in the game. This is not exactly the most forgiving curve in the game, though. 30 seconds. Yikes. Well over a second a lap at the moment. Just under a second and a half a lap. It's quite bad. I say just under, it's quite a bit under. I mean, I've already gained a second on this lap. Well, I guess they'll update to whenever they get to where it's judging it from. But gaining quite a bit on them, even though I'm not really doing the greatest lap times ever. Yeah, like 22.5, it's not exactly going to set the world alight, but I just love this track, to be honest. I think just the way you gotta play with the track limits a bit, you know, you can really push the car around the track. To be honest, I really like most of the low downforce tracks. I think, or at least tracks where you want to run low wings, even if it's not particularly a low downforce track, like Baku, where obviously you have lots of corners and stuff, but if you want to run slightly lower wings to make overtaking down that main straight a bit better. And yeah, just tracks like that I enjoy a lot. I also just generally enjoy the more high-speed tracks a lot. Silverstone was a lot of fun. Actually, I think Silverstone's probably my favourite track in this game. Probably a bit biased though, to be fair, being British. Probably would have a preference towards the British track. But I think overall it's a ton of fun to drive. Oh no. Wasn't paying attention. Bit too early on the brake. Yeah, like I'm obviously not really thinking about draining my battery here because I don't need it, but I do find it so odd that it's such a high-speed track that you've just got so much ERS all the time. See what happens if I start trying to drain it without messing up the last corner. Well, we got 4 laps to go. No, 3 laps to go. Drain it to about 50% this lap, 40 in the next. And we can go for a big push in the last. See, this track is so different in league races as well, because in a league race you have all the DRS trains and stuff. So that just adds another level to it, you know, you're going to have to manage dirty air, or you got to choose the right times to attack and to be patient. Because obviously, again, in those trains you're going to save a lot of DRS, so it's not like you're going to be short, but you could easily find yourself just not going forwards because you don't want to be at the front of the train, but then when your opportunity comes it's too late and stuff like that. I don't know. Not a bad lap. Oh, I knew it was going to happen. I tried it anyway. I was supposed to drain my battery a little bit more this lap, wasn't I? Exactly the cleanest ramp that actually came, but the actual points I was hitting wasn't too bad. The speed through there wasn't awful either. I was kind of hoping someone would be online so I could just chat, you know, but it doesn't look like it. Bread with a big question mark over whether he's going to be able to race this weekend because he's hurt himself. Hopefully he'll get better. He did say he was complaining a lot about his wrist, so hopefully he hasn't done any serious damage to it. That'd be quite bad if he has. Not just from obviously a playing video game standpoint, obviously in general that's not something you're going to live your whole life with. It's quite restrictive in terms of what work you can do and stuff like that, especially, you know, a wrist injury. So hopefully he can get it all checked out and it'll be all good with a bit of rest. Seconds. Oh, Verstappen's in second. Bottas letting the team down. Why am I not surprised? Car was trying as hard as it could to slide through there. Felt a bit flighty coming through. Just getting there, but just run RRS down to the line here. Oh, there we go. 21.8. Not too bad. Esteban Ocon gets driver of the day. I didn't see him winning by 40 seconds. There is a slightly younger and strange-looking Toto Wolff.
Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
That was nearly accurate.
Driving, nailing the corners,
if he didn't put his finger
the
up,
track conditions,
that would be
perfecting
Lewis
the team's
Hamilton.
strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on
I
the
love
podium
the
once
Monza.
again.
I love the Monza podium, especially with all like the confetti and everything they do in real life. But in the game, it just looks kind of pathetic. I don't know why. I think these cutscenes are just. I preferred the Parc Ferme ones. I know they show both now, but I wish you could have a custom Parc Ferme celebration instead.
So, Anthony Davidson, who
The
would
podium,
you rank
while
as
it's a
your
cool
driver of the
idea,
day?
it's just
Difficult call, but
so
I'd like to say
underwhelming.
Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that
13th
today.
to 6th,
Well,
so this
that's an
man
end to another
gains
fantastic weekend of
7
racing.
positions.
Thanks to everyone
Fair
who
enough to
joined
him.
us, and we'll see you for the next one.
But I gained 5, which is only 2 less, and won by 36 seconds. With the fastest lap that was, what's that? 1.4 quicker than anyone else. I think I've been done dirty there. Oh yeah, this is some class driving you're about to witness. To anyone that didn't see the start of this race. I wondered what hit me through there. I really like that purple on his helmet. It looks so nice in the sun. I really hope we can get some good changes to ERO's rules, because I really don't like the fact that you're so limited in overtaking. You know, you're not allowed to be aggressive at all. It's like you're rewarded for being, you're probably more rewarded for putting in a half-assed move than you are putting in a aggressive on the limit move. Because it's like the rules kind of say that you're not allowed to push a driver or all four wheels over the white line in under any circumstance. So if you're side by side with someone and they go all four wheels over the white line and you didn't leave a car's width, you're probably going to get a penalty for that. Which, I mean, especially you get corners like, well, any corner at Russia, right? It's like, come on, really? But then you also get rules where it's like, yeah, if you get your front wheels in line with the rear wheels, you have to get given space. Now, I'd be fine if it was, if you get half a car length alongside, but you're not allowed to push people off the track, because then at that point, you know, you can do a committed move and you're not like leaving space for someone who's, you know, just stuck their nose in, because why not? You know, they have to have done a full committed move to deserve that space. But preferably it would be like, rules say half a car length alongside to be given the space, so that, you know, you can make sure it's a full committed move and you're not just sticking your nose in just for the sake of it. Because it's like, someone could just stick their nose in, not really have any intent behind it, but they could just stick their nose in. It would be like, yeah, you have to give them space, and because you're giving them space, you lose time, so they gain an advantage out of that. And then all they have to do is slow down enough to not use the full track width on the exit, and they're fine. But you have to you have to completely miss the apex of a corner because they barely tried. You know, it's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. I think that's going to be it for this stream. I think we've been going for a couple of hours, so I mean, a couple of hours of Monza, what's better, right? Maybe a couple of hours of Silverstone. Maybe I could do that at some point. Dunno. But yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it there for now. Hope everyone watching enjoyed it and enjoyed watching me drive around Monza a lot. If you yeah, I did 54 laps of Monza, so if you like Monza, there you go. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Hope you all have a good evening at this point. It is nearly 7 PM in the UK, so hope you'll have a nice evening, and I will see you all probably, well, I'll be commentating tomorrow on the ERO channel, but I'll be streaming on Sunday for the Austrian Grand Prix in the ERO, so make sure you all come along to that.